మీరు 1,25,000 రూపాయల నష్టం అన్నారు. ఈ అమౌంట్ కన్ఫర్మ్ చేస్తారా?
అవును మేడం, 1,25,000, 1,25,000 రూపాయలు కోల్పోయినాం.
So that was just a sample call of how seamlessly the integration has happened, because the complainant was actually interacting with an AI. And this, as ma'am mentioned, will reduce the number of missed calls. We will be able to address every respondent in time. So ladies and gentlemen, request you to please put your hands together for the team that worked tirelessly in putting together CipherSprint. The next tool that we are talking about is the Sentinel. Like Shikha ma'am had mentioned, can we quickly have the AV for Sentinel, please?
Digital protection must evolve. Meet Sentinel, the digital soldier of Telangana Police. Developed in-house through a collaboration of the Telangana Cybersecurity Bureau, Cyberban Police. Sentinel stands beside every investigating officer. The core of Sentinel is the investigation module, enabling investigative officers to digitally connect with banks, networks, platforms, and service providers securely and efficiently. Someone India's National Cybercrime Intelligence Platform, Sentinel links related cases and suspect information across states, helping investigators see the bigger picture faster. Using CEIR, Central Equipment Identity Register, Sentinel helps trace and block lost or stolen mobile devices nationwide, cutting off misuse and strengthening investigations. Together, these capabilities enable precise investigations even beyond state boundaries. But justice isn't only about identifying offenders. The refund module addresses amounts put on hold across multiple bank accounts, helping bring defrauded money back to victims. Digitally streamlining court processes and coordinating with banks, Sentinel enables faster refunds and restores trust. DFreeze module allows account holders across India to submit requests digitally, reducing hardship and ensuring timely resolution. Three powerful modules: one internally used system, one integrated gateway delivering public impact. Sentinel, an in-house cybercrime investigation system, transforming how cybercrime is investigated and how justice reaches citizens.
Right, so we also now have a digital soldier in the form of Sentinel. So it's an absolute honor to be announcing and introducing Sentinel to the world in the presence of Chief Secretary, sir. Now requesting the Chief Secretary for the state of Telangana, Shri K. Ramakrishna Rao, sir, to please address the audience at Shield 2.0. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Shri K. Ramakrishna Rao, sir.
Good morning to everyone. Director General of Police, Sri Sivadar Reddy Garu, DG and Head of Cyber Security, Srimati Shikha Goyal Garu, all my senior colleagues who have come from the state of Telangana, and also other senior officers who have come from across the country, 18 states across the country, the industry representatives, academia representatives, and other officials. Once again, a very warm welcome and a very good morning. I'm very glad to be associated with this function and the second edition of this particular function. because as all of us are aware, there's somebody either in our immediate family or the people who are known to us who have been victims of these kind of cyber crimes. As you know, the traditional policing was completely based on the physical world, but now it has completely moved on to the virtual world. So therefore, it is necessary that we equip ourselves to fight the menace in this virtual world. And what better place can we have than Telangana, than Hyderabad, where much of the IT work of the country happens. Therefore, it's a very happy occasion to be with you, to be amidst you, to look at the ways in which the government in general and the police department in particular is trying to cope up with this new menace. Previously, the front line was the physical policing. As you are aware, a compromised lock, or a damaged vehicle, or a person who is looking suspiciously. Now, the front line has completely changed. The front line today is virtual. A phishing attack, or somebody promising, some Nigerian prince promising that I'll give you $100 million. Or somebody sending you a link which you open, it will give you immense wealth. And quite often, not only people who are not tech savvy, not only people who do not know about this fall prey to this, but we hear instances of people who are technologically savvy, who are supposed to know stuff, who are legally aware, even they are tempted. Because temptation is something which is fundamental. Greed is something which is fundamental. And the fight is always against that. So quite often you hear outrageous cases where people have lost crores and crores of rupees as victims of this cybercrime. So therefore, we have to equip ourselves. We have to be ready to fight this crime, because technology, if it is a weapon for the criminals, it is also a shield to us. We can use the same technology to fight against them. And therefore, I'm very glad that Telangana has taken this initiative. And as I was observing in the stalls which are there outside, lot of new initiatives are on display. Whether they use the latest technology of AI, blockchains, quantum computing, and whatever is coming at us. But it is changing so fast that sometimes it is, dizzying. Just last month, I attended the Chief Secretary's conference, where Honorable Prime Minister told that AI ka express to chal pada hai. It is independent of our wishes. Whether we get onto it and try to ensure that we are prepared is the only choice that we have left to us. So therefore, as part of this larger initiative, the Telangana Cyber Security Bureau has taken this to integrate the technology to ensure that people feel safe. Because the nature of crime might change, but nature of our duties do not change. We have to keep people safe. We have to protect them. We have to ensure that they are not only safe in physical world, but also in the cyber world. Towards that mission, all the people who have gathered here today, I'm sure you're all the cyber warriors. You are the people who are helping the government to ensure that citizens feel safe. Therefore, remembering that mission, I once again call all of you to help us, to collaborate with us, to put your best ideas into practice. Therefore, not only the citizens of Telangana, the people of Telangana, the 4 crore people of Telangana feel safe, but also people of the country feel safe. So I take this opportunity to congratulate the police department, DGP Garu, Chicago Garu, and all her colleagues for organizing such a wonderful event. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Telangana.
Thank you so much, sir, for gracing the occasion and also sharing your insights. Yes, the Nigerian prince seems to have reached out to everybody in this room. So next up, I would request Shri B. Shivdar Reddy, sir, to present a memento to Shri K. Ramakrishna Rao, sir, IAS and Chief Secretary, because this is one way to say thank you for being present here as we kickstart this journey of Shield 2.0 right here in Hyderabad. Thank you, sir. The next step, I would request Chicago ma'am to please present a memento to Shri B. Shivdar Reddy, sir, DGP Telangana. Next, I would request Shikha ma'am to present a memento to Ms. Abhilasha Best ma'am, IPS. Thank you, Sanjay Kumar, sir, for being present here at Shield 2.0. A big thank you to Sandeep Shandilia, sir, IPS Director of Eagle, to be present here at Shield 2.0. Thank you, Vasudevan, sir, for being present here. We are all looking forward to your keynote coming up next. Thank you, Harichandra ma'am, for being present here and gracing Shield 2.0. Thank you, Abhilasha Bist ma'am. Thank you, Neerja ma'am, for being present here as we start on this very interesting journey. Thank you, Sai Manohar, sir, ADG, for joining us here at Shield 2.0. And thank you, Bhuvan Rebu, sir. The keynote is due. Thank you so much once again to all the dignitaries present here. And this time, before we start Shield 2.0, I would request Harshvardhan, sir, IPS, SPCS and A, TGCSB, to present the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Harish. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude the inaugural of Shield 2.0, I am filled with immense gratitude and appreciation for everyone who has made and who has contributed to making this event possible. I express my sincere gratitude to Chief Secretary of Telangana, Shri Ramakrishna Rao, IAS, sir, to the Director General of Police, Shri Shivadar Reddy, IPS, sir, to Director, Cybersecurity Bureau, Shikha Goel, IPS, ma'am, and the esteemed officers on the dais, DG Abhilasha, ma'am, DG Sanjay Agarwal, sir, Shandila, sir, ADG Neerja, ma'am, ADG Sai Manohar, sir, Collector Hyderabad, Harichandra, ma'am, our keynote speakers, Vasudevan, sir, and Bhuvan Ribu, sir. And also, I extend my sincere appreciation to all of you, all the dignitaries who have joined today, all the keynote speakers, all the panelists, and all the domain experts who are present today. Lastly, I would like to place on record our sincere gratitude to all our partners, including technology partners, knowledge partners, media, content partners, ecosystem collaborators, and institutional partners like ICP, and all others from the industry, academia, and research ecosystem. Your support has been very instrumental in strengthening the Shield 2.0 platform. And a special thanks to IIIT Hyderabad and Director Sandeep Shukla, sir, for having us on the CipherSprint event. This is the first time we are having an innovation challenge as part of Shield. So special thank you to IIIT team. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much to all the dignitaries. Requesting ladies and gentlemen to put your hands together for all the dignitaries present on the stage, because this surely associates the due importance to the whole topic. Right. So a lot of people might be thinking, the number of people on stage, everybody plays a very important role in associating the right kind of importance to cybersecurity, the conversation that we're going to be happening here at Shield 2.0. Requesting the production team to clear the stage, please. Thank you. As I said, when it comes to cybersecurity, there are no breaks whatsoever. You work 24/7, 365. Similarly, even this conclave, there'll be no breaks. We will go on in just a couple of minutes. We will be starting the first keynote. Before we start that, requesting the production team to quickly clear the stage, please. So in the meantime, can we have can we have the digital arrest short film be played, please? Because this is one challenge that we get to read about many a times on the newspapers, and just help us understand what exactly happens. The digital arrest short video.
అవునండి చెప్పండి. డిపార్ట్మెంట్ మేము ఉండేది హైదరాబాద్ అండి. ఇప్పుడు వస్తాం.
रमैया, आपके नाम से मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग हुई है, हमें इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है। एक बार आपका आधार कार्ड दिखाइए
అలాగే సార్.
और पैन कार्ड भी दिखाइए आपका। आपका आधार कार्ड नंबर यही है 5802।
అవును సార్, అంతా కరెక్ట్ గానే మ్యాచ్ అవుతుంది.
राठौड़, एक बार आधार कार्ड चेक करो। इसके आधार पे टेक सिम का मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग टेररिस्ट को भी अमाउंट सेंड किया है सर।
ఇప్పుడు కాదు సార్, ఎవరు తీసుకున్నారు?
बहुत सीरियस केस है, ये मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग है। आपको अरेस्ट कर को भेज रहा हूँ।
ప్లీజ్ సార్, ప్లీజ్ హెల్ప్ మీ సార్.
आपके नाम एनआईए से अरेस्ट वारंट इश्यू हुआ है। आप दिखने में बड़े आदमी लग रहे हैं, आजकल ऐसे एक्टिविटीज काफी हो रहे हैं, आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते। ये मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का केस है, आपको अरेस्ट करना पड़ेगा। आपके अकाउंट कितने हैं?
సార్ 2 అకౌంట్లు ఉంది సార్.
कितने हैं?
సార్ ఇదంతా నా కూతురు దాచుకున్నాను సార్.
को बताना पड़ेगा। सारा अमाउंट आरबीआई में डिपॉजिट करना पड़ेगा। मैं नंबर भेज रहा हूँ। ये केस पूरा होने के बाद आपका पैसा वापस किया जाएगा। इस केस को ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेट मत कीजिए, आपको बड़ी सजा मिल सकती है। एक और अगर भैया, इस बारे में आपके फैमिली मेंबर से या बैंकर से डिस्कस मत कीजिए।
సార్, ఎఫ్డి అమౌంట్ అకౌంట్ లో ఉన్న అమౌంట్ అంతా ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేస్తున్నారు, ఏదైనా ప్రాబ్లమా సార్?
కొంచెం అవసరం ఉంది మేడం.
ఓకే సార్, ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ అయింది సార్.
సార్ అమౌంట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేశాను సార్.
The call to call is currently not reachable.
సార్, కొన్ని సర్వర్ ఇష్యూస్ వల్ల మీ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ ఫెయిల్ అయింది, డీటెయిల్స్ మళ్ళీ చెప్తారా?
అరెస్ట్ అని ఏదైనా మీకు కాల్ వస్తే వెంటనే మీ సమీప పోలీస్ స్టేషన్ లో ఫిర్యాదు చేయండి, లేదా 1930కి కాల్ చేయండి.
Right. So that was a short film on what happens in a digital arrest and the kind of repercussions. At least in the film, there was a happy ending because of the server issues. The money did not go through, but not everybody is that lucky, are we? Huh? Okay. Can we have the video on the investment fraud, please? A short video on the investment fraud. We're not trying to buy time. This will just set the context for everybody.
బాగున్నావా? మన కొడుకు కృష్ణ బెంగళూరులో ఉద్యోగం చేస్తున్నాడు కదా. అవును, కంపెనీ నుండి చేస్తున్నామంటూ ఆ కంపెనీ సేల్స్ లో పెట్టుబడి పెడితే బాగా లాభాలు వస్తాయని చెప్పారట. చెప్పిన మాటలు ఆ కంపెనీలో పెట్టుబడి పెట్టాడంట.
చెప్పిన టెలిగ్రామ్ గ్రూప్ వాడు జాయిన్ అయ్యి చేసి లాభాలు పొందామని చెప్పిన వాళ్ళంతా ఫ్రాడ్ సమస్యకి సంబంధించిన వాళ్ళండి. వాళ్ళు చెప్పిన మాటలు నమ్మి వీళ్ళు కూడా లక్షల్లో ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ చేశాడు. అలా వాడు ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేసిన అమౌంట్ కి ఊహించలేనంత అమౌంట్ రిటర్న్ వచ్చినట్టు చూపించడంతో చెప్పినట్టు ట్యాక్స్ పే చేశాను, అయినా మళ్ళీ విత్డ్రా అవ్వట్లేదు ఏంటి? మళ్ళీ ఇంకో ట్యాక్స్ ట్యాక్స్ కట్టాలి సార్. ఇప్పటికే నేను చాలా అప్లై చేయండి, ఇప్పటికే నా ఒక్క కూడా లేదు సార్ నా దగ్గర. ఇప్పుడు వాడికి అర్థమైంది ఈ ట్యాక్స్ కట్టినా సరే వాడు పెట్టిన ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ విత్డ్రాలు అవుతాయి. చివరికి చేసినప్పుడు తీర్చలేక ఇంట్లో చెప్పలేక సూసైడ్ చేసుకున్నాడంటరా. నువ్వు కొంచెం జాగ్రత్తగా ఉన్నా, అలాగే నీ స్నేహితులతో కూడా చెప్పు. డబ్బులు ఉందిరా, పోతే సంపాదించుకోవచ్చు, నీ ప్రాణం పోతే సంపాదించుకోలేం కదా.
ఇలా ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ ఫ్రాడ్ కి కనుక గురైతే వెంటనే 1930కి కాల్ చేయండి లేదా సమీప పోలీస్ స్టేషన్ ను సంప్రదించండి.
Right. So that was a short video on the kind of investment frauds that we come across. Be extremely careful. One thing that I continuously talk about is let's start believing that there is nothing called easy money. There is no easy money at all. And this is what, whenever we interact with students at very young age, that's what we tell them. There is nothing called free money or easy money, right? Whenever you see something related to easy money, please smell the rat there as soon as possible. Now, there is an oath video that Shikha ma'am has recorded. This is the oath that everybody needs to take so that it's not just for our safety. This surely helps us keep people around us safe as well. Can we have the oath video, please? Thank you.
Cyber crimes are one of the most preventable crimes. However, one careless click can cost you not only your money, but your peace of mind. So this new year, let's take our safety into our own hands and pledge to be cyber smart. I pledge to stay alert, not to click any unknown links, not to answer any unknown calls, and not to transfer amount to any unknown person.
I pledge that I will not click on online links.
I pledge that I will not respond to suspicious phone calls.
I pledge I will not do any online money transfer without verification.
I pledge that I will be cyber smart.
I pledge to spread cyber awareness.
I pledge that I will build a cyber safe Telangana.
Join the Telangana Cyber Security Bureau in its movement to make Telangana cyber safe. मिलकर करेंगे फ्रॉड का फुल स्टॉप.
కలిసి పని చేద్దాం, సైబర్ ఫ్రాడ్ కి ఫుల్ స్టాప్ పెడదాం.
Right. So very strongly said, Milke Karenge, crime ka full stop. 1930 is the number. We will keep repeating this till it registers really strong. It's now time for the first keynote speaker. I know a lot of us have been waiting for this. And this is the beginning of a lot of interesting conversations coming our way today at Shield 2.0. The first keynote speaker, he is an executive director at the Reserve Bank of India, responsible for key areas like fintech, corporate strategy, currency management and enforcement, with extensive experience in payment systems, banking supervision, and leading innovation initiatives like the RBI Innovation Hub and e-Rupee projects. So people who know already who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the first keynote speaker. You all know who I'm talking about. Yes, Mr. P. Vasudev is joining us as a first keynote speaker. Put your hands together because this is just the first of many conversations that are coming our way today.
గుడ్ మార్నింగ్ ఎవ్రీవన్. మీ అందరకు నా నమస్కారము. Normally, when you get a call from the police, you get scared. And when it is the cyber cell calling you, you get all the more worried whether it's a digital arrest or something else that is being looked at. But here, when I got a call from the Telangana cyber crime team, I was happy to come here because I thought we could share some insights about the digital activities, about what's happening on the various fronts in terms of digital payments, etc., in the country. We'll be happy to hear about what the state is doing during the discussion, but I was also very much interested and surprised, positively like to see the good initiatives from the state of Telangana, the way in which they have adopted the cyber, taken the cyber initiatives, the initiatives to also address many of the issues that are plaguing different parts of the country, and Telangana is leading from the forefront. We have had plenty of interactions with the teams here, and we are very happy to be associated with the cybercrime and other government agencies here as also at the center. See, first and foremost, we have to understand that India is the fastest growing economy in the world. India is the fastest growing on many fronts as well. When you look at the economy, we have a growth rate of the GDP that is the maximum, the fastest for multiple years now, and this will continue going forward if all those initiatives that are being taken continue. And also, India is such a large economy that we need to have multiple sectors that are functioning quite well, and digitization is the best way to take them forward. One of the sectors that is powering our economy is the financial sector. And in the financial sector, if you see, the banking sector is one of the most important and most popular sectors as well. To just put some numbers to what I am talking, if you look at the banking sector as on date, we have around 250 lakh crore of deposits, 250 trillion rupees of deposits. And on the other side, we have 200 lakh crore of loans. We are looking at a total business size of around 450 crores. And this is growing in double digits. The deposit growth was around 12+%. The lending growth was around 14+%. Just imagine this growth is happening. And all this growth can happen only when things become digital. Yes, I know that you are all very tech savvy. The state is also very forward looking in terms of many of the digital related awareness. Most of you must be having a bank account. And most of you must be having multiple bank accounts as well. And most of you definitely must be using many apps to make your digital payments and other requirements. But how many of you would have gone to a bank? How many of you would have seen the service provider who is giving you these apps for making those payments happen? Because everything is done digitally. If you want to have these comforts happen, if you want to move things faster, digital is the way. And if you do not adopt to the digital requirements, then the pace of growth cannot be at the rate at which we are talking now. To make India progress, to make India the Viksit Bharat we are looking at, Viksit Bharat by 2047, we need to be digitally powered. And when we have to be digitally powered, we have to be aware of many of the facilities that are there to open deposit accounts, to get loans digitally. All those things are possible. Banking is one sector that believes on complete trust. Most trustworthy or most important sector that depends on trust is the banking sector. You cannot, because there's money. Whenever there is money, there will be so many of these fraudsters lurking around. Just like when you look at honey, you will have those honey pots, you will have those ants, etc. coming. Similarly, money. Money is one lure for everyone to happen. And if you have to protect the money, we have to adopt different ways of doing it. Just like banking is a ecosystem where trust is paramount, when we come to digital means, when we come to cyber security, etc., we have to adopt a zero trust approach. We cannot trust anyone when we have a cyber ecosystem that is powering all these digital means of deposit acceptance, loans being given, digital payments, etc., being offered. We have to have a zero trust. You cannot trust your employees. You cannot trust your vendors. So how do we adopt a zero trust approach when we get into these aspects is one important thing we need to be mindful of. And when we talk of this deposits, payments, etc., the loans, etc., I was talking about the size. We should also be appreciative of the fact that India has got the fastest growing payments ecosystem in the world. And that is powering all these activities. I'll just put a number to this. As at the end of January 31, 2026, we have 81 crore transactions happening every day. 81 crore is the number of transactions, payment transactions happening every day. And the value of these transactions is 9 lakh crores. Just imagine 9 lakh crores of money is moving around in the ecosystem every day. And this can happen only when we start using digital modes of completing the transaction. 24/7/365 is the manner in which our systems are running. Just like the highways have been built, the traffic can be accommodated 24/7/365. Similarly, the payment rails also handle these traffic. Just like there are peak hours, there are those days when traffic can be light. Even our systems also seek some peak times, some not so peak times, etc. But the systems have to deliver. If you just stand in a signal and if the red light doesn't turn green, after a few seconds, you're waiting for the timer to come to zero. If it doesn't turn green, you get so panicky, you start honking, probably you'll start trying to maneuver through the traffic. Similarly, let me tell you, if somebody goes to an ATM to withdraw cash, if something doesn't happen, no transaction or no movement is seen for, say, 7 seconds, people lose patience. People will start kicking the machine. Maybe people will start looking around, cursing everyone if the transactions do not start within 7 seconds. That's the extent of patience people have. And if something doesn't move on the mobile app, you have clicked, but nothing is happening, people lose patience within 30 milliseconds. The span at which we have these patients, etc., is so minimal. So we have to ensure that these payment systems deliver, our digital activities deliver. Otherwise, you cannot power this massive economy at the speed at which we are expecting it to grow. When I said many of you must not have gone to a bank branch, that's also because all the facilities are being provided by the banks on the mobile. You call it mobile banking, on your laptop, you call it internet banking. All the facilities are now available. You would have heard major banks say, whether in the public sector or in the private sector, more than 98% of the business is being handled from outside the bank branch. Only 1 or 2% of requirements are being dealt from the bank branch. Many of you may have to go to a bank branch to take a loan, but nowadays we are also facilitating that with certain other features through platforms that can actually give you the loan without even going to the bank branch. The loan that was taking, say, 7 days or even 7 hours can be done in 7 minutes. So we can talk about some of those things when we discuss. You would have heard about, say, the poster boy of our payment system, that is UPI, Unified Payments Interface, the world's most popular, the world's biggest, the biggest system ever in the world as well. But similarly, we are looking at systems like Unified Lending Interface to give the loan journey also digital. ULI is one thing we are developing to make the loan journey digital. So when we look at the theme is technology, the theme is also how to keep us cyber safe. You have to understand one thing: such a volume, such a speed, etc., could not have been done without some safeguards in place. I'll tell you, like in 2008, we launched what was called as a second factor of authentication. The OTP, the PIN that you get to complete a transaction, was launched by RBI in 2008, 17 years back. So if you do a transaction, unless you share your PIN or unless you give your OTP, the transaction doesn't get completed. And that is enabled by the technology. You would have been seeing that when we started to bring in this two-factor authentication, what we call, in 2008, then people were saying that if you insist that these things have to be done, the transactions will drop. There won't be a smooth experience for people. But we didn't want to listen to that. We want to be always customer-centric. We want to ensure that safety comes first. The integrity of the system is absolutely essential before you complete a transaction. So the second factor was introduced. Now it is being adopted by everyone across the globe as well. And you will also realize that when you complete a transaction, when you make a payment, when you receive some money, you also receive a message, you also receive a mail that your account has been debited, so much so account has been credited. Now that's also enabled by technology. Unless you get those comforts, you don't complete your transaction. Many of you might be using UPI, some of you might be trying for large value transfers, say NEFT, RTGS, etc. Though they are all payment systems. Even there, before you even complete the transaction, you will see when you type the mobile number, you get the beneficiary's name. Please check whether the name is right and only then complete the transaction. These are things that are not available anywhere. As I said, beneficiary name lookup is one of the main features that have been brought in our system. So kindly see that you take care of this. Please understand that there are no free lunches, nothing comes free for you. So whether you get some offers or whether you are asked to scan some codes to get some freebies or discounts, please don't believe. It's your money. You have to be safe. You have to take care of all your requirements. Nobody will come to you when you lose money. Many of the recent initiatives we have been taking are also to protect. Like you saw 1930 AI powered chatbot that is interacting with you. We also have put some, if you see on our website, you also have something called as DigiSati. It's again AI powered. You can ask any question to DigiSati or any payment system or any digital transaction. It will give you answers. So try to see some of those things before you even start a transaction. One more thing we started looking at technology as empowerment is many of us go online to purchase. Many popular marketplaces are there. People are so happy shopping. People are so happy buying things at the spur of a moment, whether it is day or night or not. And when you go online, you are sharing your card numbers, be they debit card, be they credit card. And you are not at all thinking what will happen if you share your credit card or your debit card details, what might happen. Though you are empowered with the requirement of sharing your PIN or OTP, social engineering frauds are being now perpetrated where these things are being taken from you and the transactions were completed. But when we saw these transactions happening online, when we saw the card data was being breached, we brought in a concept called tokenization in 2021. Tokenization is a way in which you can mask your 16-digit card number into a token. The token will be encrypted, and when it is stored at the merchant on its database, the merchant will never be able to share or store your raw card number. That's very, very critical. Never share your card number. So when you went online, since you were sharing the card numbers and it was available in the merchant database, and since there was a chance of misuse when the merchant databases were getting breached or hacked, we brought in an element of tokenization. Now, just like UPI is one way of making payment, people are also comfortable using debit cards and credit cards for making payment. And these cards were becoming vulnerable. So we brought in this tokenization whereby, as I said, the numbers are encrypted when it's on the merchant's database. And even if that number, which is encrypted, even if it gets compromised, nobody can use it. No other merchant can use it. No other fraudster, anybody can use it. That was the purpose for which tokenization was introduced. Let me tell you, we have a card ecosystem of around 100 crore debit cards, around 11 crore credit cards. As of now, around 115 crore such tokens have been created in the last 4 years' time. And touch wood, not a single data breach or not a single misuse of the card numbers have happened after the tokenization experience has been initiated. It's the world's biggest experiment, world's biggest initiative taken, and many countries are now trying to implement this. And let me share some numbers with you. Last 4 years, we have processed around 500 crore card transactions for 15 lakh crores of rupees. And there has been not a single breach. And that's all thanks to this technology, thanks to tokenization. We are also trying to do many more ways in which we can have this technology being used to facilitate many of these things. Many of the frauds that are being seen are not because of any flaws in the system. People may say there's a UPI fraud, there's a NEFT fraud or RTGS fraud. It has nothing to do with the system. System is as safe as it was. It's only because of the compromise from our end of the PIN, OTP. Sometimes we share with our family. To the extent what has happened is, for example, if you receive your gas cylinder, the supplier says that please share your OTP. Now we have to segregate what's a financial OTP with what's a non-financial OTP. Please don't share anything, especially when it's a debit to your account. And please do understand that sometimes you don't have to share certain things to give money. Like when many people say that when you want to get money, you share your OTP. No, when you have to get money, it can come to your account without you requiring to share any of your OTP or PIN. We are now actually addressing this issue of cyber crime, the way in which bank accounts are getting manipulated, people's accounts are being taken. You would have heard of mule accounts. See, just like the bank account, the UPI handles could also be taken from you. People could impersonate you or even create fraudulent accounts. So we have created something called as a mulehunter.ai. So it's an AI-based model called Mule Hunter, and it is being carried forward through our subsidiary, that's a Reserve Bank Innovation Hub. I'll be happy to have discussions with the police, with the state here, every other state as well, to see how we can actually have this Mule Hunter being populated, how this Mule Hunter can do wonders. And let me share with you that we have been in touch with the I4C, with the Union Home Ministry, and many other central agencies as well to see that these initiatives are taken forward at the national level also. As on date, Mule Hunter is functional in 26 banks. It can track the behavior or patterns on 19 different parameters as of now. And it can give some indications to the bank as to which accounts are mule, how you can do some enhanced due diligence to take the initiatives further to stop credits coming into the account, or if the credits have come in from debits happen into the account as well, multiple things can be done. Let me share some numbers with you. Because of some of these initiatives being taken, many of the frauds are being prevented ab initio. You don't have to have the law enforcement to come and then complete the investigation, etc., because these things can be prevented even at the time of occurrence as well. So we'll be happy to discuss about Mule Hunter. And just like this, we are also trying to have one more platform called as the Digital Payments Intelligence Platform, DPIP. While Mule Hunter is a post-transaction activity, when the monies have come in, when the transaction is complete, if the accounts are mule, if the accounts are being compromised, etc., the investigations can be done. So that you can also create a blacklist or a registry whereby fresh accounts cannot be opened with the same credentials, with the same mobile number, with the same details. But in the digital payments intelligence platform, what we want to do is, as a transaction is being undertaken from the originator to the beneficiary, we will also give a risk score for the transaction so that the beneficiary bank can decide whether to complete the transaction or to return the transaction. So these things are going to be very forward-looking using AI. One of the requirements the organizers had asked us was, when you are talking about technology, please also mention about AI-driven technology. I want to mention only one thing. AI is the buzzword and be all and end all that people are looking at. We definitely do not want AI to be used for driving our cars. Now we have enough number of drivers who are already there. Elsewhere, AI is being used for having driverless cars. And we will be happy to use AI for many other things, because we feel that it's not for driverless cars that AI should be used. We can use it for predicting certain things. We can use it for risk modeling, customer profiling, and many other things that are useful to see that our financial ecosystem is safe. Because you understand one thing, the AI technology doesn't come cheap. It's very, very expensive. And today also you would have seen in the recent budget speech also, you would have heard that we are trying to collaborate. We are trying to put a lot of money to see that these GPUs and other technology gets used for various developmental purposes. So we can see how AI can come in. As I said, for completing a loan journey, we can analyze the customer profile and we can try to see that the journey becomes digital. Similarly, let us say that when you are making a transaction for 25,000 rupees, the AI can be used to see whether earlier you were making such transactions or not. If you are using these accounts or these modes to make small value transactions, and suddenly one requirement of yours is for high value transaction, AI can immediately alert the bank to say that this is not a transaction which is in the normal pattern, kindly look into. The bank can immediately say we will stop. Similarly, we are also in touch with the I4C and many other agencies to see that once a transaction gets completed, if money is moving from layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, layer 5, enormous layers are there, right from the recipient, right from the relay layer, to the aggregation layer, to the laundering layer, to the encashment layer. Many layers are there in mule accounts and mule operations. We can actually track and stop the money from moving further, because all of the banks, all of the people who are in the payments ecosystem are all connected. They are all having the data. We can always have the databases to stop the money. Let me share one thing. I did hear the alarm. See, the Indian payments ecosystem, the Indian money movement is quite fast. That is the pride of our country. That's the manner in which our entire loan deposit journey is being fueled. It is also possible to make our payments slower. Do we want that to happen? What is getting completed in few milliseconds to create a hurdle to make sure that law enforcement or other agencies also investigate and then the transaction gets completed. We can make the transaction happen slower. What is settling now can be made to settle 30 minutes later. Once we get the money, we can always say that until an investigation is completed, unless everybody says the money is safe, we will not let you draw the money. But then it's going to create frictions and people may lose comfort in the system, saying that every time my transaction is being made, there is somebody who's looking into and giving me a clean sheet only after the transaction gets complete. Whether we should want it. 24/7 by 365 is the manner in which we have implemented our systems. I'll be happy if we collaborate and cooperate with all the agencies to see that we try to arrest these frauds in different ways. We try to bring the fraudsters to book. I know many of you may be watching Insta Reels, YouTube videos. One of a very popular video I would like you to see is how to scam a scammer. Okay, there's a scammer who is there, who is taking our money by different ways, saying that please subscribe to this, you will get this, etc. And they're taking away our money. There are people sitting outside who are scamming the scammer by seeing what these people are doing and sharing with us real time. You just will get energized to see that definitely there is a way by which we can catch the scammers. Let me share one more data point before I close. As on date, because of the various initiatives taken, for every 101,242 transactions, that means for every 1,01,242 transactions we do, there is one fraud being seen. That's all. And for every 1 lakh of rupees that moves, the fraudulent amount is 1.40 rupees only. So the ecosystem is very safe. I don't want us to get panicky. How we can strengthen this further, how we can bring the people who are doing these frauds into the limelight to say that these are the ones who are, all are youngsters, all are very tech savvy. We can use technology to our advantage. We also have many ways in which technology is taking care of us in a negative way as well. But let's look at the positive sides of technology. We can do that in a much wonderful manner by collaborating. And Reserve Bank is at the forefront. We will be happy to interact with all the states, all the agencies to see that this 101,242 becomes much more. See, earlier it was 85,000 transactions where one fraud was being seen. Now, because of education, because of efforts, it is increasing. That means fraud rates are coming down. So as I said, when you hear about a fraud, please think and please also tell everyone it is not a system fraud, it is not a systemic fraud, it is because of our compromise we are seeing these frauds happen. Don't trust even your spouse if it is about sharing OTP or sharing PIN. Your money is yours. Even don't trust your banker if some calls are coming. That is why we have brought some more things I can share with you when time permits later. That .bank.in domain. From now on, all messages, all mails to you from the banking community will come from this domain only. .bank.in. Anywhere else, any mail, any message comes, please don't react. Similarly, all calls will come from 1600 only. So we are trying to educate the bankers also to see that everybody follows this. But India is a very huge country, 1,500 banks of big size, small size. Some can implement these requirements immediately. Some will take some time to implement. We have to bring them all together. We have tier 6 regions. We have tier 1 regions. We have educationally smart. We have people who think that they are very smart, but they end up getting fooled. Even sometimes we get requests from the police senior saying that I've lost some money. So nobody is safe in the ecosystem. We have to keep ourselves safe. As I say, when you have a super highway, your vehicles can drive you at 100, 120 kilometers of speed. It is your responsibility to drive safely. We should not put hurdles to say that let us drive only at 40 kilometers per hour. You will never reach the journey in time. India has got a very big goal of where to reach by 2047. So we have to drive fast. We have to drive carefully. We have to put all those checks and balances. I am here to support all these initiatives. We in Reserve Bank are proud to be a partner in all these things. We are very glad to see the initiatives being taken by the Telangana state. And definitely many other states will follow. We will have a wonderful ecosystem out there. Maybe next time when I come here and talk, it will be 10 lakh transactions, one fraud. Or we can even move to an era where there is zero fraud in our ecosystem. We can definitely work towards that. So I stop here. Thank you very much and very best wishes to everyone present here. Have a wonderful deliberations during the day. Thank you very much.
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Thank you so much, Vasudevan, sir. Right, so let's repeat .bank and .in. These are the only two domains. Let's remember that. And I think that is surely going to help us identify things before they go out of hand. Yes, as sir was mentioning, mule accounts are a challenge, but that is an afterthought. And the discussions that we're having, how are we able to use pattern recognition so that we are able to identify things before it happens? I think that's where we are moving towards. Thank you so much, Vasudevan, sir. Now it's time for the next keynote. Okay. This speaker, very enigmatic. We've seen him in the first edition, and we were very certain he will be there for the second and the third and the fourth. Yes, I'm talking about somebody who is the foremost architect of the child protection ecosystem and a pioneer in embedding technology into national child protection framework to enable prevention at scale. He has assisted government committees in drafting key child protection legislation, including the Juvenile Justice Act, the POSCO Act, the Child Labor Act. He conceived Raksha, India's first AI-powered child protection platform. He played a key role in conceptualizing and advancing the Pencil Portal, the Government of India's flagship digital platform for child labor monitoring enforcement. So much to read about him. Even if I read only the alternate paragraphs, it could take 7.5 minutes, but I don't want to eat into his time. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the next keynote speaker, Sri Ribu from India Child Protection.
Respected Chief Secretary, sir, respected Director General of Police, and we have several from various states. Respected dignitaries who have come from various states and have attended today, and Shikha Goyal ji. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate the government of Telangana as well as the Telangana Police for organizing this very important conclave, very important discussion today. We are living in times where each one of us is being impacted in various ways, and in a manner where we have become constantly dependent on technology and its usage for everyday lives. So to organize such an event focused on our protection, our safety, so kudos and my best wishes to the government of Telangana and the Telangana Police. Why are we here? Let us ask this question to each one of us. Just close your eyes for 5 seconds and ask, why are we here? Are we here to celebrate the successes? Earlier this morning, we were hearing that Shikha Goyal ji was saying that the Telangana Police Children's Safety Wing is now handling 1,20,000 tip line cases. Does anybody here know what are tip line cases? Anyone, please raise your hand. What are tip line cases? Anyone? A tip line case is a case which is forwarded by international agencies to the Ministry of Home Affairs and from the Ministry of Home Affairs to the police in states of a child sexually exploitative and abusive material. A tip line case is not a number. A tip line case is a child being raped. And if a child is being raped and Telangana police has increased the response framework from how many cases of children's rapes that are being reported by 250% to 1,20,000 of those cases being understood, recognized, and combated. If the work has resulted in real action on the ground with hundreds of FIRs being registered, for the first time an identification of recidivism, where a person who was involved in downloading or uploading child sexually exploitative or abusive material, that person is being identified, the IP addresses are being traced and tracked, and the person is being arrested. We are not talking about a number. We are talking about a child. And that is something that I wanted to start with. Why are we here today? We are here not to discuss only the transactions that are taking place. Sir, with all due respect, with folded hands, I would like to say, we may have reached a place where out of 1 lakh digital transactions, or 1 lakh rupees digital transaction, 1 rupee is a fraud. But out of 1 lakh social media connections or people, if one child is raped, that is one child too many. And we can't afford that. So that is, I think, the biggest success and the biggest congratulations that this conference holds. It is a promise that we are making to ourselves. It is a promise that we are making to our children. It is a promise that we are making to our grandchildren, that we, today, we, the people of India, are going to resolve to create a better future, a better present for all our children, for all our grandchildren, because what we are doing today in the pursuit of prosperity, what we are doing today in the pursuit of more economic gains, what we are doing today in the pursuit of advancement in technology, should not result in our children being unsafe. Today, I stand before you also as a father. I read in the newspaper this morning that 3 girls, inspired by social media and other content that they were seeing, committed suicide somewhere near Delhi. Last week, I saw a news that a boy was being blackmailed and he was scared. He was being blackmailed using morphed images of himself. He was blackmailed using these sexually explicit images of himself. And because he could not speak out of shame, out of embarrassment, out of guilt, this boy committed suicide. His father took it upon himself, his engineer father took it upon himself to actually go through the phone. His father went through the phone, did the investigation and assisted the police in reaching that place where the father could say XYZ was blackmailing my child. And eventually the man was caught. We are today living in a space where the crimes that were earlier dependent on proximity, on physical touch, the crimes that were earlier dependent on a person being in the same room as the other person, that is gone. That era is gone. A child today can be sexually abused by a person sitting 7 seas away. A child today can be enticed, can be kidnapped, can be made vulnerable to trafficking, and can be blackmailed to the extent that the child commits suicide, while the parents sitting in the next room thinking that our child is safe and studying would have no idea. So, we are living in a space where the offline crimes and the online crimes, that boundary has been completely blurred. We are also living in a place where the person who is a criminal is not in our jurisdiction. When I say that there is a child whose sexually explicit videos and photographs are being downloaded by someone sitting in Telangana, it is creating the demand of a child being raped elsewhere. That child may be in the next room. The child may be in the next building. And the child may be in United States of America. The creation of the demand of, and that is why it is very important to make this distinction between child sexually exploitative material as well as child pornography. It is not pornography. It is the rape of a child which is being promoted. It is the rape of a child which is being propagated. And that is something that we have been able to really combat in the last year. The second reason why we are here is also to understand and give a little bit of thought to where we want to go from here. What next? Unfortunately, technology is changing every week, every month. In 3 months, it will not be the same what it is today. Artificial intelligence will not be the same what is today, maybe tomorrow. And our laws, our policies, our institutions are always playing catch up. So what are we doing? We are responding to it. And how are we responding? If there is a crime somewhere, we figure out there is a crime somewhere, then we start discussion. Is that crime covered by our current laws? Maybe not. Then somebody is going to create a policy around it. Then somebody is going to work around that policy. And by the time that policy takes shape, the crime nature has shifted once again because somebody else is using something else. We created one of the best legal mechanisms in India in POCSO, in IT Act, in IT rules. One of the best laws. And then suddenly we find ourselves living in a place where knowingly the businesses create mechanisms that allow for women, children, and men to be undressed using artificial intelligence. What does that create? Once again, the boundary between what is real and what is virtual gets blurred. And I am very thankful also to the Supreme Court of India that said day before yesterday to WhatsApp. It is something that had been laid down in a judgment by the Supreme Court 1.5 years ago in a case filed by Just Rights for Children. Social media companies must be held accountable if they have to do business in India. In India, you are doing business. In India, you get to know that there is a child who has been abused and raped. And who do you report to? You report to somebody sitting in the United States. You report to somebody sitting in Europe. Why? Simply because there, the government's mandate, the law enforcement agency's mandate, and there you have the fear of the government and the law enforcement agencies. So a child who is being abused in India, being found in India, will go through this entire process where the case which is identified in India will go to United States. From United States, it will go to Interpol, or from there, it will go to MHA. From MHA, it will go to states. What is this? You are doing business in Telangana, you find out about a child being abused in Telangana, you report to the police in Telangana. This is where you are. And you are duty bound by law. The POXO Act makes it clear. And therefore, I'm very thankful for the Supreme Court to reiterate once again that anyone doing business in India is accountable to the people of India. What next? So I would like to propose or suggest a strategy. First and foremost, we work on policies. Policies for prevention by design. Policies that make it immediately responsive that if today a new kind of crime is being identified, then within a stipulated time frame, we are able to govern that particular kind of crime or respond to that particular kind of crime through a robust legal framework. Please allow me to elaborate on this a little bit. Crime happens today. We make a policy 6 months later. The child is no longer, or the woman or the person is no longer getting access to justice through the rule of law. And there is no bigger injustice in this world than an injustice meted to a victim who does not find protection in law. If the law and policy is not there, if one child, if one woman, if one person gets left behind and there is no law to protect them, there is no policy to protect them, then we have failed as a society. We have failed as a just society, and we have failed the entire framework of the rule of law. So policies must be, and the processes to make those policies have to be simplified. Specifically for technology, I would like to propose that the Parliament of India must have dedicated 1 or 2 days of deliberation only and only to discuss the technological advancements for the protection of human rights and people. All the other things can wait. Neither will the criminals wait, nor will a child wait. If a child is abused today and we fail to protect that child will never be whole again. So prevention through policy and prevention by design. Next is, in the policy itself, I would like to propose a complete ban on social media for young children. Young children should not have, now my sister over there suddenly became very happy. Maybe you have children who are, yes, and you are already worried for them. Who here is not worried for the safety of your children, your brothers, your sisters, Is there anyone who's not worried? All of us are worried. Then why can't we actually collectively demand for something like this? Each one of us is trying to work in our homes and say, beta ye mat karo. Each one of us is trying to say, beta isko is tarah se karo. It requires a national resolve and requires a national framework. It does not only, the responsibility of the protection of the children is not only on the parent, it is also on the state. And that is why there should be a complete, no excuses ban for young children using social media. Then there should be age verification mandatorily. Mandatory age verification for all things that are age inappropriate. It is, I'm not only going to talk about social media, I'm also going to talk about the, ये क्या होते हैं, इसको कौन सा प्लेटफॉर्म बोलते हैं, नेटफ्लिक्स वगैरह को, OTT platforms. OTT platforms have all sorts of garbage and all sorts of content which is unregulated. So that has to be also linked to this. Third is partnerships. And partnerships by resolve. social media companies have to enter into partnerships with the local law enforcement agencies. Have to. It cannot be a choice. Civil society organizations have to report. It cannot be a choice. Panchayats have to tell people that if a child is being abused, it is not the guilt of the child. The shame, the blame of child sexual abuse, the shame and blame of a child being exploited must switch sides. It is the criminal that has to feel. It is the criminal that has to feel the fear, not a child. Not a child should feel that the society or my parents are with me, so they commit suicide. The second I would like to say is investments in digital safety infrastructure. The government must make budgetary allocations mandatorily to allow for our police to have the necessary framework everywhere in India, to allow for our children so that their attendance is monitored, to allow for our children to be kept in schools, to allow for the technological things on our children for their protection so that it can be taught in schools. The third I would like to say is capacity of the law enforcement agencies. The law enforcement agencies have to be trained. The local police constable must know how to respond if there is a crime that is happening. What Sir was saying earlier, there is now a very big focus on also creating this fear in the masses. So many crimes are taking place, so many people are being abused, so much of crime is taking place. No, so much response is happening. So many cases are now being reported. It is not that so many children are being abused. The children were always being abused. Today, the police is responding. Today, the government is responding. Today, only 1 lakh, only 1 rupee out of 1 lakh is going. So it is not an issue of how much. Next is the knowledge of policies and response frameworks must lie also with the children. The children are the real stakeholders. The parents are the real stakeholders. My sister over there, what can you do if something happens? None of us know. What is the one number? We have to know. Everywhere there should be this awareness. Then the ecosystem must respond. From the internet service providers like Airtel, like Vodafone, from the people who are actually providing the smartphones, from the schools that are asking for online classes, there has to be this entire thing that children only get access to instruments that are age appropriate. Today, can I buy a phone where my child cannot see anything, which is inappropriate? I can't. If my child was to learn something as innocuous as chess, can I be sure that he would not be approached by a pedophile? I cannot be. That has to be in the design itself. You have to give me 2 more minutes, sir. Okay. मैं थोड़ा भावनाओं में बैठ गया. And the last, but not the least, after ecosystem is use of technology for tactical intervention. India today has the Raksha tools, which is the largest AI-generated model in the world for child protection. And what we are doing, on one side, we are identifying the vulnerable children. For example, I will give 3 cases. One is the case of child marriage. A child who is vulnerable to being married. Why is the child getting married? Because of poverty, because of inaccess to education, because of fear that the child might get abused, because of the impunity that there is no going to be legal action. So identify those pockets. Identify the people who make it happen. Do a GIS tagging of the Mandir, Masjid, Gurudwara where the child might get trafficked. And then superimpose it with those geographies where a child marriage might get reported. Tomorrow, we will be able to not only link people to benefits and services and eradicate poverty, but also protect our children in a manner that they continue to be either in school or in skill or connected to a scheme where they are safe, where they are secure, and where they are actually going to be contributing to the economic welfare of the nation. If 5 crore girls today are married, 23% of India's women have been married before the age of 18 years as of 5 years ago. Today, that has changed completely. That has fallen already by 10%. But again, one child married is one child raped, and one child raped is one child too many. I'm repeating myself. And that is one of the tools. The second tool is, for the first time, we have been able to combat organized crime of trafficking. Create a national database of traffickers. Bhuvan Ribu is a trafficker. He traffics children from this part of Telangana, from Banjara Hills, at a particular month. And this is his modus operandi. He takes this railway station. Bhuvan Ribu has now been identified. Facial recognition is being given. Railway Protection Force is now aware, and we are able to preempt and prevent trafficking. For the first time, the economic routes of trafficking are being identified. The banking and the financial institutions are doing that. And using AI and technological advancements, we will be able to reach a place in 2 years or 3 years' time where traffickers will be arrested and prosecuted before they traffic children. So I would like to end now. I'm being shown the looks. 2 things. One is that the true essence and the true shield of technology is in the enforcement and in the promotion of the rule of law and ensuring access to justice. And the true test of a society is in the prevention and the protection of our children. We have to reach a place where justice works. And true justice is not in convicting anybody. True justice is not in sending someone to jail. True justice is in the prevention of the crime itself. So justice that works through the rule of law and access to services. Justice where technological prowess comes together to prevent harm, to enable every child to achieve the child's full potential. And we reach a place, many, many years ago, Rashtra Kavi Dinkar ne kaha tha, for people who understand Hindi or for somebody who does not, I'm sorry, I would like to apologize. But Dinkar had said, Ek haath mein kamal, ek mein dharma deepta vigyan. Ek haath mein kamal, kamal is wisdom, legacy, our history, our values. Ek haath mein kamal, ek mein dharma deepta vigyan. लेकर आगे बढ़ने वाला है जग में हिंदुस्तान. That is where we are today. Technology for justice, technology for rights, technology for Viksit Bharat, technology for the protection of our children, and technology for our future, for our children. I would like to thank all of you once again. Congratulations once again. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Bhuvan.
I'm so sorry.
And I hope, and I seriously manifest, sometime soon, you will be invited as a speaker once again. And that is after child trafficking, child abuse is completely eradicated. And your speech would be about how did we get there. I hope we get there sometime really, really soon. So thank you so much once again. Now, time for the next one, the next keynote speaker. And the topic, again, is extremely interesting. From crime to crackdown inside the world of modern cyberpolicing. And the speaker is somebody who is a senior law enforcement officer currently serving as DCP at the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, under the Ministry of Home Affairs. To the uninitiated, you would hear the term I4C multiple times. It is actually the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center, which is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. With extensive experience in the cybercrime investigation, digital forensics, and national cybersecurity initiatives, our next speaker has led several landmark projects to strengthen India's cybercrime response systems. She's also trained hundreds of police officials across the country and is a recognized expert in tackling online crimes, especially those affecting women and children. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the next speaker, Dr. Rashmi Sharma.
A very good afternoon, respected seniors and all the esteemed dignitaries present here and my dear friends. So actually Rajesh sir was to come, but somehow an unexpected event came up, so he had to stay back in Delhi. So I hope I'll do the justice. So please can you put up the presentation, because I'm not a good talker, but I guess I would like to present what we are doing. Okay, right. So here it is. So from crime to crackdown inside the world of modern cyber policing. So at I4C, I would like to mention that we firmly believe that only through the collective effort can we tackle the evolving challenges which we are facing. So since morning, you are having a good insight into what challenges are there. So definitely we have to be together to solve them. Now, the next, okay. So this is the threat landscape. We can see the snapshot on financial cybercrime reported on NCRP, and we can see that there is a slight improvement in 2025 over 2024. So where the reported amount loss was nearly 22.848 CRs, it has reduced to 22,495. And secondly, we have been able to save money, much more money, nearly an increase of 7%. Next, please. So these are the cybercrime hotspots. We all are aware that there are domestic and international hotspots, but when we analyze data at I4C, we believe that the international hotspots are primarily, we see there are high value cybercrimes, like digital arrest and investment frauds are mainly originating from international cybercrime hotspots. Yes, there is a hand-holding from Indian cyber fraudsters with the use of money mule. And for the domestic hotspots, there are huge volumes we can see, though the amount of loss is quite less. So next is why cybercrime is hard to police. So together, these are the reasons which depict that what are the challenges, what are the reasons. And so we need to work in these areas. And most importantly, there is requirement of the continued adaptive policing approach. We can't use only the traditional methods. We can't use the only modern methods. So there has to be an integration of both modern and traditional. Traditional policing of Roko-Toko is still efficient in the area where the area police wala knows that, okay, this person might be a cyber fraudster. So this is how we need to evolve. Next, please. So this is it. This shows the crime graph, the action taken, how the charge sheeting rate, what is the charge sheeting rate, what is the conviction rate going on, and relatively we can see there are quite low compared to the comparative. If we compare to the traditional crimes, simple reason, the attribution to the criminal, the evidence, how to attribute the evidence to the criminal, the complexity of the proceeds of crime, and again the cyber forensics. Next. This all we are aware of the money laundering as a service, especially how the payment services are being misused, and together with money mules, they are layering the crime proceeds, and significantly this is affecting the timely lien and prosecution. Next is the I4C. Next, please. The key focus areas, what we focus at I4C. Our main focus is, again, prevention is very important. Creating awareness is very important because over the world, we strongly believe that prevention is the key to control cybercrime. If we have been able to control digital arrest, it is mainly because we raised lot of awareness right from the Mann Ki Baat of Honorable PM to the use of the caller tune at 1930. So this has strongly helped us. Then again, we are for the quick response and reporting mechanism, that is our focus. Then the analyze of the threats, whatever threats are there in the online world, we try to analyze them and bring it to the under the law. And then the investigation coordination is a major work which we do. We try to coordinate with all the stakeholders, the concerns raised by the law enforcement, the concerns raised by the bank officials, the concern raised at the telecom or the IT intermediaries. So we are working together, and coordination and effective support is what we are doing. And then is the capacity building. You all know about the cyber commandos, the force we are trying to raise, especially to strengthen our cyber security framework. And then again, we have to work on the mitigation of the disruption of the criminal infrastructure. Next, please. So these are certain key milestones which we have been able to achieve. How we were raised in 2018, we were a very small unit, and we now are evolving into quite a decent unit. And our growth over here, I would like to share this thing at this platform, that our growth and state law enforcement growth and other key stakeholders, we are all growing together. And this is the beauty of these milestones. And recently, the SOP on unfreezing money restoration is out, and that is there to remove the discretion to provide the justice to the victim. Next, please. So this is our financial kill chain, how we try to work, how we identify where the money goes, where we are supposed to halt the flow, and who all are there with us. So next, please. So this actually the financial kill chain, we actively have a one center where all the stakeholders are present in under one roof. And these are certain, I just wanted to show a certain snapshot of a live dashboard. So we prioritize what we are supposed to act. So it is continually, we are monitoring, we prioritize our actions, then we take care of the pending action that is required, and then we identify what is the performance, whether it is of the banks, whether it is of the states, or whether it is of the telecoms. Next, please. So these are 4 aspects of the SOP, NCRP, CFRMS, custody, restoration of money, grievance redressal. Now it shows, and in this SOP, we have 4 components. First is the process of filing and escalating the complaint. So the procedures are laid down. Then how the amount that has been put on hold has to be restored to the rightful owner. Now here the attribution of the proceed becomes challenging. So we have tried to use certain case studies to guide the law enforcement agency also, banks also, and definitely courts. And finally, the grievance redressal, because during this mechanism, we understand there have been certain unlawful freezes. So the effort is to set the systems right for the sustainability. Now, these are certain guiding principles on which these SOPs based. So you can see we are following the law. The due procedure of law is followed. Under the 106, the freezing can be done. And what are the participating entities supposed to do? And we take care of all the RBI master directions, the PMLA. So all legal aspect is taken into care, the judgments which are there in this area. And the aim is that the grievances are minimum and restoration is the maximum. Next, please. So these are certain guiding principles. In together, 12 principles are there, which we have tried to follow to compile this. Next, please. So during our working in I4C, we realized that there are a lot of flags, red flags, which are coming to us. Now, a lot of suspects. So those suspects, we were getting a lot of suspects data. So we thought of sharing it with all the entities. So rightly while we are onboarding any merchants or while we are onboarding any account holder, so banks, they take care of it. The telecom takes care of it, the number that is shared with them. So we are still evolving with the suspect registry, and still nearly in 2025, more than 9,000 crores have been saved. And this is a good initiative. And actually, it has helped us to prevent the money loss and prevent money mules strongly and break the longevity. Thank you. Next. Sahyog portal, you all are aware, this is an effort to identify, because most of the time our concerns were the IOs had to frame the letters for blocking, for removal of the unlawful content, or for getting the data from IT intermediaries. And sometimes the IO is not even aware that who is the nodal officer for that IT intermediary, who is the representative, or who is the grievance officer. So this portal has helped us in a great way for the investigating officers. They can directly fetch the data, which is now in testing phase and will be launched. Already we do have crypto exchanges onboarded. And besides that, action under 79(3)(b) can be taken by the law enforcement agencies and even other agencies. Next, please. So this is a Samanvay platform. So Samanvay platform, it is a true essence of the cooperative federalism. So it is very interesting to see how the states are sharing with other states. So they would like to share, okay, I have a request to make. Please go and verify a concerned person for me. So he doesn't have to travel to B destination, because the police at B destination is ready to assist the police official at A. So we are able to save a lot of man hours, lot of expenses in this complete exercise. And yes, arresting more criminals. So if a police station wants to work out the cases, major cases, they can identify the nodes, the already arrested criminals. And even if they arrest 5 or 6 criminals, they can work actually more than 50 FIR. So this is the beauty of the system. And it is still evolving. You all know Pratibimb is there. You can have the visibility of your hotspots. We are still trying to build it so that there is a ready-made action plan for the investigating officer. And the investigating officer can be guided to conduct the investigations. But still, I believe there's a lot to go. Next, please. This is the mechanism we have set up with cooperation from the states. So already 5 states and union territories do have the system. They have just recently launched. And E0 FIR isn't like we are actually raising FIR for a certain value of complaints and then merging it with the CCTNS. And it has enabling states for the quick legal process. And yes, there will be the question, what about the large number of FIRs out of this? Because if we are converting technically each complaint into an FIR, what are we going to do? What is an IO going to do about it? So this is what I told you, that Samanvay will be developing further into the assistance for the investigation, framing of charge sheet, fetching, getting letters, framing letters, sending, because if you see the cyber police portal, you can raise requests to banks, whether it is for the CCTV or whether it is for the data. And we are trying to standardize it and give the information at the earliest, provide for the information. So this is a good mechanism, and more states are coming it. Again, in another 10 days, 5 more states are launching this system. So hopefully it is going to do justice both for the IO also. I know there are challenges. Next, please. This is few. I would like to show certain snapshots on what is happening on cybercrime hotspots and what states did and what is actually coming out of it. So it is not just if somebody is acting on a hotspot, nothing is going to come out of it. So please, next slide. This is just a reference of how the money mule growth we are trying to arrest, because over here it is not just the role of only the role of I4C. Here the role of banks, the law enforcement agencies who at their end, like Gujarat, what Gujarat is doing is they are monitoring their money mules on daily basis. See, so they are getting the idea that this account of this district is reported today. So they see that this IFC has already so many mule accounts are there from this IFSC code. So they are actually coordinating with that bank branch with the account opening agents, because each bank has an account opening agent. So whose involvement needs to be understood. Next, please. So this is how Pratibim looks. So we can see what is the status. Each state would like to see where they stand in case of mule accounts. And yes, there is a shift. That is why I wanted to show you. You can see Gujarat, where it is 1819, it was in the top 5 earlier. So Gujarat, Kerala, they have done a good job. Delhi also has worked hard. So this is how states can work and bring their numbers down. Next, please. So this is same for the ATM withdrawals. You can see the states, how many ATMs they are active in which state. Next, please. These are the hotspots for check withdrawals. Next. So this is certain actions taken by the state police. So how the disruption of money mule accounts and cybercrime hotspots has actually been conducted by the states. So you can see Delhi's worked through Operation Skyhawk, and already they today when I'm speaking, they're having their 3rd phase of it. So Gujarat is already on Operation Mule Hunt. What it was once a month feature is now a daily feature. So that is the fruit of success. And then is the Kerala. Kerala had been doing it regularly through Operation Sai Hunt. Rajasthan, they have been doing it isolatedly, but yes, they have been able to target their ATMs. And then Tamil Nadu, they have worked good on SIM boxes. And also they have one very good practice, which I'll share. Next slide, please. So this is how you can see the heat map, how it is changing. So this is the result of our action. Next, please. So this is for Kerala, you can see the districts, Mallapuram, how it has reduced. Next. For Rajasthan also, there is a certain districts took action. So definitely there was a decrease for them. Though Rajasthan still needs work, but yes, they are doing it. Next. And this is new thing we are introducing, because when we understood the money mule as a service, we understood that there is a role of business correspondents also, because these account opening agents are actually found to be involved. So we are trying to list them up so that these are the hotspots, so that the concerned LEA and banks can take action. Next, please. So this is another system, like Mr. Bhuvan spoke of the rights of children, the CSAM, what challenges are being faced to protect the children and the women, both for the CSAM and non-consensual images. So what we felt was that he spoke about tip lines. Now we are getting all these tip lines through NCMEC. Now NCMEC is a center that is based in US. An NGO that is based in US, and all the IT intermediaries, they are actually reporting our content to NCMEC. Now because of the Honorable Supreme Court intervention, and due to the present various dignitaries which are also present, because of their efforts, we are now able to set up our system. Now what we are setting up is the IT intermediaries will directly report to us our content creators, our content sellers who are operating from our land at Sahyog, right at Sahyog. And we will be generating hashes, sharing with the all IT intermediaries so that the content does not evolve again. It is not there again. So it is a constant exercise. And then there will be the a directory of cyber sexual offenders so that the state police can actually monitor or have surveillance over there. And then the effort is so that the victim or the child or the lady, whosoever is affected by the image shared, can be brought down immediately. So this will be a real-time system. Already approvals have been given, and we have started working on this. And in Feb or maybe March, there will be a national workshop where we are going to create 50 master trainers across states for this system. Next, please. So this is another system we are soon going to launch. This is the S4C dashboard. Basically, we are asking states that states need to set up their S4C on the lines of I4C so that even states and union territories are strengthened. They're able to do whatever we are doing, and their learnings, their data will help to fight cybercrime strong-handedly. And this is just an example. So everything, all the portals, whether it is cyber police, whether it is the CFC RMS system is there, whether Samanvay is there, whether Sayog is there, there will be a national dashboard, again a state dashboard, so that states can see their progress on single dashboard. So this is for ease of functioning also. Next. So these are the best practices I thought of sharing with you. What states are doing. Goa have added the AI component to their 1930. And Gujarat has a good system of victim restitution. Haryana, they are very quick in real-time action. That is why they're the toppers in lien percentage. And Kerala have specialized units for the crime against women and children. And Tamil Nadu, yes, I would like to take this opportunity. They are doing a wonderful job, the pre-crime intervention model. And this model is actually helping to identify the victim on real time. So investment fraud is a big challenge for all of us. And in investment fraud, we see the suspect accounts. When we take the statements, we realize there are dozen others who are sending their money. So what Tamil Nadu is doing, they're actually alerting the victim, and they're able to save almost 50 or 60 victims on a daily basis. And then the Telangana, we all are here because of Telangana. So and a robust cyber bureau, they are quite ahead. Their FIR registration rate has been huge. Though E0 FIR is enabling other states to take over. But yes, we are thankful to Telangana, whatever Telangana is doing. And there are certain cross-state trends, which is still to be discussed, like the technical cadres raised in Chandigarh and Kerala and Telangana, how far we can take them. But I strongly believe the time has come that any kind of recruitment must have a cyber course in it. Because even traditional crimes do have the cyber component in it. So whether it is the analyzing of force, extracting of forensic evidence, so we do need training right at the induction level. And the advanced analytics, which few states are doing. That is all from my side. Thank you. So this is our mantra given by Honorable PM. Sir, digital suraksha ke 3 charan, ruko, socho, aur fir action lo. Thank you so much.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharma. The heat maps that you shared surely gave us a better insight of where is the action happening. And I request you to please move to the center stage, because the least we could do is say thank you for a fabulous talk that you delivered. Dr. Sharma, ma'am, request you to please join us center stage. There will be a lot of questions, but I think they will reach out to you for a conversation. So requesting DIG, Commissioner of Police Warangal, Mr. Sanpreet Singh, to please join us on stage to present the memento to Dr. Sharma. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, because the kind of data that has been shared here, you'll find it nowhere. And I'm pretty sure you can use that to spread the word on what is it that we need to be aware of when it comes to cybercrimes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, requesting the team to set up the stage for the panel discussion. Thank you. while we do that, let me quickly introduce the topic and the moderators for the next panel discussion. We're talking about algorithms. We've been talking about algorithms, and I also, in brief, spoke about there are times when we feel that we've been ruled by algorithms, and this is going to be a very interesting conversation. And as moderator to this conversation, we have Dr. Sampurna Behura. Ms. Behura is a distinguished child and gender justice professional with over 27 years of experience in strengthening child protection systems and responses to crimes against women and children. As the executive director of India Child Protection, she has played a transformative role in legal reform, capacity building, and digital safety initiatives across the country. Her contributions have been widely recognized with several national awards for excellence and lifetime achievement in child rights and justice. So, fantastic job. 1 minute, one. It's very when you walk from backstage, it's very difficult to understand where the center stage is. So I'll just help you. 1 minute, bhai. 1 minute, 1 minute. Brother, ये वाला chair वहां लगा दो, automatically center हो जाएगा. Instead of moving everything, ठीक है. एक chair. हाँ. Perfect. So while we set the stage up for the panel discussion, let me also grab this opportunity to invite the speakers, the fellow panelists of this right here. This chair goes to that corner, please. Thank you. Right. So, Dr. Behra, the stage is all yours. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the moderator and for this conversation on algorithms versus abusers using technology to delete online child exploitation, data, online child exploitation. Joining us in this panel, we have Mr. Amit Dubey, cybercrime expert and investigator. Put your hands together. Honestly, you will never get to hear such distinguished speakers coming onto the same stage. We have Mr. Sai Manohar, IPS ADG, Cybercrime, Madhya Pradesh. We have Mr. Munsif from Reuters joining us. And we have Mr. Ravikant from JRC joining us as a fellow panelist in this discussion. So all of them extremely distinguished. Mark the name, you can Google it later, but we have limited time. So we give the mic and the controls to Ms. Behura.
A very good afternoon to all. So as the panel is about the first panel and it's about algorithm versus abuser. So before I start that, I would like to give my gratitude. I'm really thankful to Telangana Cyber Bureau for inviting us and having this discussion on child safety. Because children are future of our country, and Telangana, the work that they have done, I'm really grateful to the Telangana Cyber Bureau for coming forward and taking up this initiative and using technology to hit a technological crime. We are all living in a technological world, digital world, and at the same time, the crimes are moving. There's a shift or transition of crime from traditional to technology. It is going in terms of exploitation of children and how we can use AI to combat it.
Before I start giving you the examples that we tried out through AI, and AI is actually playing interesting role every day whenever we are investigating any case, is giving us shocking results, starting from IPDR analysis to CDR analysis to image analysis to audio analysis to as simple as that I got a case yesterday where a judge wanted me to check an audio clip and there were silent samples between the audio communication. They said that, is this sound is kissing sound? Can you just clarify that? And because no lab can actually validate that, so I used AI. And AI gave valid reasons with 4 different algorithms they analyzed, and they gave me that clarity that this cannot be a kissing sound. Now, this is the power of AI that we are using day to day. There was a case from Delhi itself of a very big conglomerate where the CEO was receiving emails from one of the board of directors and threatening him, not threatening him, but putting some allegations and asking some sensitive details. And then they wanted my help. They wanted to check from where these emails are coming. Today, we can do all email header analysis through AI. It's that simple. So AI we don't need to do it through any other tool. And then we validated that these emails are coming from UK and US. But the person was living in Mumbai somewhere, but we were not able to trace him. He was a very old person. So they said, we are not able to trace him, but we are receiving emails. What to do now? Should we share these details or should we retaliate or should we go legal against him? He can authorize someone to send an email on her behalf. So you can't go legal, but you can send an email in reply that we need a handwritten letter with signature to provide any such details because we can't rely on email. Email can be compromised. Next day, we got a handwritten letter with signature. And the lawyer was a very prominent lawyer, the Shail Trehan, who is the daughter of Dr. Naresh Trehan. And she saw the signatures. She said, Amit, it is not matching with the previous signature. It's clear case of forgery. We can go legal against them. So no, wait. Give me both the signatures. I took both the signatures, uploaded it on an AI model, and asked whether these are done by the same person. The AI analyzed the signatures with 4 different algorithms again, gave me 2-page report, and finally concluded that both the signatures are done by the same person. But. And the but has changed the complete game. AI is saying that the second signatures are done under the pressure and fear. And we were shocked. Why I'm mentioning you these things? Because if AI is trained to that extent, we can investigate lots of suicide notes. Those are being presented through in various investigations. We are not sure what was going on in the person's mind. Even the homework of various kids we can analyze if they are under peer pressure or in depression or some psychological disorders there in their mind. Lots of these things now we can do through AI, which we were not able to do earlier. So I'm thinking very high that AI can definitely help us here, especially in the cases of kids investigation, in cases of child abuse, where we don't even interact with the kids most of the time, but we can investigate their devices. We can investigate their pattern. And every day I get a case where there's a common complaint, ma'am, that kids are not talking to their parents. And I got a case from a very senior bureaucrat that मेरा बच्चा आता है, रूम में चला जाता है, बात ही नहीं करता. And 14-15 years age of kid. How to know what is going on in his mind? And he's using mobile phone for sure. And then we had to analyze all the routers to check what activities he's doing on his phone and all. But that is the way we can actually understand a lot of the Gen Z's mind, which we were not able to do earlier for sure.
Yeah, that's a way to say that technology and how AI has gone a step ahead for creating or analyzing or investigating a case and to know what are the different factors that push that person to do that. But coming to again to the crime, as people are using AI as to do crime, people are there in the digital space, they're using digital space to do crime. And as BNS has recognized this as an organized crime, can you say how, because obviously the perpetrators would be using those techniques, using AI for their benefit. So how as from an investigating purpose or how as from a society purpose or from a law enforcement agency, what should we do to stay ahead of them? How can we use this technology to stay ahead of the technology that is being used by the perpetrators?
See, AI can be countered only through AI. We can't expect humans to become smart enough to counter an AI-generated attack vectors. It's not possible for sure. And as Elon Musk has mentioned that by next 2 years, we will see a situation where AI will surpass our intelligence. So singularity, we are going to see very soon. Now we need more AI in our life to counter those challenges. We can't run away with AI. And that's what I think in schools and colleges, I was discussing with Sai sir, and he mentioned that now we need it in education, we need it in regular courses, whatever skills we are giving to anybody, because this has to become part of each and everyone's life. So I think this kind of disruption we need in education. Otherwise, we'll be lagging behind and we'll have more crimes for sure, because criminals are smart enough. They are innovators. Every day I'm getting, and when I tell these kind of things in my podcast, people give me feedback that don't tell this, because people start using it for crimes. And this is something which I learn only through criminals, because they are thinking ahead than the investigators for sure.
Thank you. So coming back from you, sir, I have a...
Ma'am, I just would like to ask the question to Amit. The NCMAC and other organizations which are working for the online safety of the child, they are saying that now the trend is that AI-generated CSAM material and CC material is showing significant increase.
Right, yes.
So just with your long experience of investigation, can you tell me that if there is a video, a proper video, there is an offender, there is a victim, with difficulty and with some legwork, we will be able to identify the offender and the victim. If the same video is an input for an AI-generated video, what will be the legal implications? The trauma is the same, the harm is the same, but can we be successful in the...
Like this, probably then only people will stop thinking, because right now it's just an identity theft, nothing else is bailable.
It should be,
and it has to be treated much more severely unless until, and especially for kids. If somebody is trying to create videos using kids, and people are doing it. Every day I get lots of cases, and they are not thinking twice while creating. They are thinking this is just fun. But it gives lots of psychological trauma to the person when you create obscene videos, especially videos in different dresses. This is happening through AI.
It's not only that about only videos. There are also voice modulation, voice talks and all that. Recently, there was a case, like one of my colleagues received a call that your son, he had left his son to the examination center, but somebody made a call saying that, your son has been caught in abusing a child. And so you need to come here and we need to investigate the case. And he also gave a voice over that of his son, that Papa mujhe bacha lo, and that was in tone of his son, which was actually not true. So AI is being used by the perpetrators for different kinds of offenses. So, sir, I would ask you, sir, how is law enforcement, as Amit ji said that, and in the beginning also we are saying we are living in a tech era, and where tech should be used, algorithm should be used to counter AI and other digital crime against children and general public. So how, as a law enforcement, sir, you see how, because perpetrators are way ahead of us. So how, as law enforcement, we are equipped to handle those type of crime, and are there enough technology, or all the police, there is something else that is required to enhance the capacity? Because he said there's a need for AI training, AI schooling and all that. And the morning also people talked about having cyber warriors being trained on AI. So looking at that, so what would be your suggestion and recommendation in terms of AI, in terms for law enforcement, how equipped they are, and what should be done to build the capacity?
Ma'am, I would just give a brief, take you back 2009, when the child crime, any crime, especially the child sexual abuse, has been given a status of universal crime. There are crimes which are international crimes. There are crimes which are universal crimes. Like across the 196 jurisdictions or 200 jurisdictions of the UN countries, child sexual abuse, child sexual exploitation is a crime. It may have different sentences, different punishments, and different legal processes, but it is a it is a universal crime. That is a very big leap for fighting this CSAM epidemic. But the law enforcement has 1,000 priorities. And when it comes to the online child sexual exploitation, when you compare it with a real world where a child is abused, the offender is unknown or known, he comes to the police station, a POCSO case is generally given the topmost priority, and a time-bound investigation takes place. And in Madhya Pradesh, we have a Chinhit scheme where we give timelines and go about it. But when it comes to online, the first challenge is how to understand the crime, how to understand the MO. For this, we need a collaboration with a specialist. And in police, the specialists are lacking, both in number and with respect to the depth of their knowledge and updated knowledge. The first challenge is the resource, the technical resource. Second is the deployment of the latest technology. Thankfully, Microsoft started PhotoDNA in 2009 and did not use it as a profit thing, and it made it available to everybody. And organizations like Internet Watch, Interpol have stepped in very early. And then they created ICSC database. They said that you upload the video, you upload the image, you can find when it was first uploaded and what are the footprints of the offender, and is there any way you can identify the victim with the available database of the faces. The ICSC database in its journey till now has identified 56,000 victims, almost 14 a day. And the offenders, a bit less, but 24,000. They have a target of reaching 1 lakh victim and offender identification by 2030. So the technology, with the help of the technology giants, is happening at the international level. Now, just now, Rashmi has told us the social media intermediaries, the technology giants, are now going to supply it to I4C. And this is a leap where we are going to provide the state law enforcement agencies with definite material to act upon. I will take 1 more minute to tell that last year we identified certain tip lines which are in our inbox, which have been forwarded to the districts, and lost priorities which were going unattended. We created a small special operations group in the MP Cyber, and we were able to reach to the offender and the victim in 50 of the tip lines. In 47, we registered the FIR, and as an initiative, an abhiyan in Hindi, we arrested 22 people in a very short span of 15 to 16 months. This is not going to be one-off exercise. It is going to be a continuous exercise. There will be phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And we are also working with ICP in the near future. And we'll also try to bring in the international organizations also to support us with qualified personnel, with hardware and software, so that we can do the legwork. Please provide us this kind of support. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for highlighting that there's a need to build the capacity and need for technological solution and also a technological person. It's not only the law enforcement agency, but also having a collaboration with different technical experts. That will really strengthen, because we all know the perpetrators are having access to all kind of everything, right from money to investments to tech people with them, and that's why they're advancing in a very faster rate in the digital era. Now, coming to Ravikant Ji, sir, as the founder of Just Right for Children, Mr. Bhuvan Ribu said that he called for a policy ban for children, social media ban. How do you see it's going to impact? And also, do you feel that while we're talking about policy ban for children, for young children on the social media platform, at the same time, how do you see the school introducing curriculum on AI for child safety?
Of course, it is very sure that artificial intelligence as well as cybercrime is affecting our children, our society. It's now an accepted thing. It is also sure that technology is being used to abuse, as well as technology can also be a medium to protect the children. So it is for us, all of us, the law enforcement, the state governments, and various district authorities to work together and to strengthen the mechanisms to respond to these cases. I have been hearing about the various deliberations, but one thing we have to understand that once such images, such violation, such abuse happens to our young children, it creates havoc in their lives. We need to have mechanisms to respond to these situations. These situations, the use of technology and the abuse of technology is one thing which law enforcement has to work upon. But the human connect to the victims of such crimes has to happen. And that is the reason why we need to create mechanisms at the district level, also at the school level, where we should have trained counselors, where we should have trained teachers who can negotiate and who can help children to navigate these situations. It's a very clear and present danger affecting all of us. It should be a national priority. And that is where I see a big role of the civil society organizations, even the mandate of the Honorable Supreme Court in terms of creating the support persons network across the country for child sex abuse cases. It has to be there because you can find out the perpetrators, you can investigate these things, but the impact which it happens on the child, that has also to be catered to. So investigation, prosecution, and bringing them to justice is something which all of us here are working, but the last mile connect to the victims is very important.
Thank you, Raviji. First response. Yes.
First response.
So when we talk about justice, it should start right from the first response itself. And it should also end with the reaching out to the last child in the state. So now coming to you, Mr. Munship, as you have been from the media, and media plays a big role in creating awareness and also acting as a pressure group. So while the Supreme Court judgment has come for asking the technical companies who are working in India to report cases to the Indian law enforcement agency because it's a mandate under POCSO Act. So how do you see from a media perspective, the media can play a role in making the tech companies accountable to Indian law enforcement agency for reporting those cases?
Audible? Thanks for that question. So if you see historically, media's role in policy making and awareness, any impactful policy has always come from, not always, but most of the time came from a very well reported, probably explosive report, which took, months of effort, probably over a year of effort. And it always has that impact of, suddenly a lot of people waking up to, what is really going on. Now, having said that, how do we reach that? So investigations often take a lot of resources from the side of media, and more importantly, a lot of understanding from the side of journalists. So in the 2 hours I have been here, I've been absorbing a lot. I feel like I'm not a specialist here, but I am observing and absorbing a lot from the anecdotes my fellow panelists have been making the kind of anecdotes they were saying. To be honest, like a lot of it is new to me. And I, as a journalist, I feel there is a very important story to be told here. So similarly, I feel, and I see a lot of my media friends also here. So more such free-flowing conversations we have, we will have a better informed media, and a better informed media means a better coverage and better awareness of such kind of issue. So that would be my brief answer to what you asked.
And as a parent, how you would like to describe the thing, how to navigate technology from the perspective of creating a safe ecosystem for a child?
Right. To give some context to that question, like I've been reporting on tech and policy for 10 years, but I think I'm saying just to put some context to that, answering that question, I've been covering tech and policy for about 10 years, but I suspect what really qualifies me to be here is losing 7 years of argument with my 7-year-old daughter who knows algorithms better than me. It's it's a like I feel like parenting in the age of AI and tech is more demanding than my job itself, despite being somebody who is in the middle of, who has a front row seat to how technology is evolving. Like yesterday, I had a very interesting conversation with my child. So we have negotiated her screen time down to 30 minutes a day from a higher amount. And interestingly, so usually the way I execute it as a parent is like, auto shut off. If it's TV, like it shuts off automatically after that certain time limit is up. But this time she volunteered and she said, Dad, let me just put a 30-minute alarm and, I'll do it myself. And I found it I was very glad about that as a parent, because I feel like we reached that point because of, the way we have been executing it. So I've been like very transparent with her in terms of why this is necessary. In a way, she understands. And today, when I was researching to what to speak here, I came across this London School of Economics study where they said, something like screen time. Again, you cannot like unilaterally impose it on kids. You have to negotiate with them. And I feel like transparency and also volunteership from their part is important. Also, not just screen time, but also like what I've been observing as a parent is that it's not only how much time they spend, but also where are they spending that time, what kind of apps or what kind of videos they are watching. And there are a lot of resources out there, as I've seen, like, you can obviously set what kind of YouTube videos they are watching, etc. So I feel like, parents should be utilizing that more. But obviously, at the end of the day, the onus is not just on parents. Of course, there is, but also the society also, there is a growing need than ever in the age of AI to arrive at a toolkit or a broad set of guidelines on how do we tackle this. And that of course ties back to what Ravi sir was saying about education. You were also saying about how schools can teach children about AI, which is also very important. And again, I saw another study which said kids, young age kids, can actually be taught about AI and manipulation, because that's a concept that has to be inducted to them. That there exists a fact that there exists a possibility that videos that you see can be manipulated. So how do you introduce that concept to a child? So all this kind of conversations I feel are very, very important.
Thank you. Now coming back to Ravikanji, sir, as you said that it's important to connect with the victim, and while we're talking about all those things, there is law enforcement at one side, there are technical people at one side, there are civil society organizations one side. Do you think this is an era of convergence or collaboration which will actually, because everybody is having children and everybody wants the child to be safe and to create a safe digital space. So do you feel that the collaboration or the convergence among different stakeholders will add result to this and will be able to end the impunity against the perpetrators?
100% collaboration and convergence, accountability. So these three things are required for any problem. And for a problem of a magnitude of artificial intelligence and cybercrime, it requires much more convergence as well as commitment. These two things are very important. we can use technology to understand the patterns of crime. We can use technology, and as Bhuvanji was talking about in his keynote address about the Raksha tool, which has been generated by Just Rights for Children. At that, we have analyzed thousands of data of trafficked children, thousands of data of child sex abuse, thousands of data of child sexual exploitative abuse material, and creating patterns, finding regions of vulnerability, finding the time of movement of traffickers, finding which are the places where children are getting exploited. So we are at the civil society organization level, we are using technology to find and identify, which is a path-breaking tool, Raksha. But of course, a lot of convergence, commitment is required from law enforcement agencies. And one thing we have to be very sure, the discourse which is happening and the media reportage which is happening on digital arrest and other issues, of course that requires that response because people are losing their funds. But cases of children and women and people getting exploited sexually and the violations which are happening, these things require much more commitment from every stakeholder. So convergence, accountability, and commitment is required so that we can together tackle this crime. Any agency alone will not be able to do it.
Thanks. So my last question to you, sir, we just have 1 minute. So I just wanted to know, which is better? Or should I say this, ending impunity against the perpetrator will result in prevention of crime. So the police should out and out go and act upon the digital perpetrators?
There is no doubt, ma'am. If you remember how the cyber financial frauds started, unless restitution of money is only one, unless you catch them and send them to gallows, send them to prison, there is no way you cannot do this. For the first time at the national level, there is a dip in the cyber financial frauds where active deterrence through FIRs, investigations, arrests, and restitution of money. So where you take away the profit, you deter them with a sentence, then only you can tell them. So just to add to what Ravikant was telling about collaboration and convergence and accountability, I think it can be better done at the national level. Now that I4C has entered the scene, the cyber financial frauds, now the automatic conversion of FIR is happening in more than one state, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, and other places. So now these FIRs are generated by the system on the complaint, and they go to the jurisdictional police station. And if it is effectively followed up, there is immediate action. Something like this is to be done for the crimes, online crimes against women and children. I hope Rashmi is taking note.
Thank you, sir.
So, add on, sir. Of course, the role of I4C is very important, but I think like initiatives like what Telangana has been able to do, create such good mechanisms, or Madhya Pradesh is, we need to strengthen state responses also. And all these successful things have the collaboration element, the technology and the technically qualified support has come from the civil society, and the legwork is provided to them.
Thank you. So we have come to the end of this panel 1 session. The major takeaway is deterrence will lead to prevention. And to deal with the tech crime, to deal with algorithm, you need algorithm. So with that, we come to... No, time was over. So if anybody has any question, they can reach out to us individually because the time is over. So I've been already given warning. So
fantastic. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the fantastic panel. Right. I will now request Sai Manohar sir to present the memento to the fellow panelists and the moderator. Amazing insights here. I'm pretty sure whoever was taking notes has surely gone beyond the sixth and the seventh page because the kind of inputs that we got was absolutely mind-boggling. And I think how beautifully it was mentioned that the fundamental is about winning the war with the child in the house, right? You do that, the world outside seems to be a lot more easier because everything seems to be an extrapolation of that. Yes, and like Sir mentioned, you can tackle AI only with AI. And like Bayrama mentioned that you can tackle, so it's the end of the day, I think it's Loha Lohe ko katega. So algorithm has to be tackled with algorithm. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for the panel for walking us through something that is extremely relevant to each one of us present in this room. One group photo so that we know at Shield 2.0, these brains discuss something absolutely important to all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So now I think I feel extremely lucky to be breaking this news to you. It's 1:45. So we're going to be taking a 45-minute lunch break, a working lunch break, because when it comes to cybercrime, we just don't have time to rest. 1:45 by my watch, 2:30, we start. Request all of you to come back, and we start sharp at 2:30. Thank you so much.
ट्वेल्थ निकल दिए 5 का कौन बोल रहा है सर लोन कैसे लोन बोले तेरे को लगा के छोड़ेंगे फर्क बात से लंच के बाद स्पीच बोल रहा था लगाइए लगा देंगे पहले कैसा था ऐसा लगा माल लाभ दी 10 सेंटर नहीं हाँ ये सेंटर है ना इधर बॉक्स What is it? Wrong.
All branches are there. Yes, all branches. Numbers can show the text. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.